So I guess I will call the meeting to order. Hey, Josh.
Hi.
It is 6:06. Want to remind everyone that the meeting is being recorded. And right now we are missing Cleone, we're missing Darren and Scott. So hopefully Scott and Darren will join. If not, we'll just continue to move forward. First thing on the agenda is to approve the minutes from our last meeting on the 17th of February. Would someone like to entertain a motion?
Hi, Thomas Golden, motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
Is there a second?
Steve Purcell, second.
Thank you, Steve. Any discussion or changes to the minutes? Nope. All righty, then we will take a roll call on this, Josh.
Ed,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Janet.
Yes,
Thank you. The motion was approved.
Okay, thank you all for that. Next item is public comment. Do we have any citizens that would like to speak during public comment time? I see one person there, but evidently they don't want to speak. So, okay, then we'll move on to the next item.
She just went off mute. Melissa, are you here for the Charter Review Committee or the Planning Board meeting?
No, I am going to go to that, but I've missed the charter review, so I just wanted to sit in. Thank you for having me.
Fair enough.
Okay. Welcome. All right, thank you. We'll go to old business. So based on our discussion last week on the charter, the schedule, and the great progress that we made at our last meeting, I went through and provided another view of the schedule. So let me pull that up. And I will share my screen. How come it's not showing? Let me... Okay, can you guys see this?
Yep.
All right, so everything you see in green is what we've completed already. Per the agenda, we'll be looking at Article 7 and Article 8 tonight. So I have those all marked as March the 3rd. I assume we'll complete those. Article 9, I think we can probably get through that in one meeting. So that will be next time around on the 17th. And then Article 10, which is very short, we should be able to finish on the 31st. We may even finish that on the 17th if we can fit that in. So that means we will be done with our first run through of all 10 articles. And then the next thing we need to do is then go back and then relook at the decision matrix and try and capture all the feedback that we got from the survey, the employee questionnaire, the public forums, because there are some, thoughts and recommendations in there. So we'll go through those, look at the entire charter again, and see if we want to include some of those. Some of them we have already included, but and I've been checking those off as we've been going along. So I'm thinking that that may take a full meeting or maybe, a meeting and a half or so. So I've said that we will start that on the 31st potentially and hopefully get done with it by the 7th. Then on the 21st of April, we'll spend some time preparing for the public forums. What I'll probably do is present a draft presentation that I'll send out to you guys ahead of time, and then we can go through the presentation and finalize that. And then we'll schedule the public forums as we discussed last meeting, probably the first couple of weeks of May. So I said from May the 3rd to May the 14th. And then after the forums, we'll probably gather some additional feedback, and then we'll do our final review and final second voting on the 19th of May. So I think that puts us in a good position then to be able to schedule our final readout with the town council. We are going to have to develop a report, whether or not that's just a PowerPoint or it's a Word doc, but we're going to have to put something together that can be filed and, you know, preserved for whatever, but we're going to have to do that as well. So what are your thoughts on this revised schedule? Do you think it's doable? Any comments?
I think it's fine. I mean, we seem to be adjusting it every single week, so
Well, we're getting better at what we do, Tom, so
yes.
moving along. Okay, then why don't we just take a vote on this for now? If someone would like to make a motion to approve the revised schedule.
I will motion to approve the revised review schedule.
I
Is there a
second it.
second? Thank you,
Uh,
Steve.
Steve Purcell seconded.
Thank you. All right, Josh, we'll take a roll call on this.
Ed,
Yes?
Tom,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Janet.
yes,
Thank you. The motion was approved.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right, moving along to new business. We're going to review Article 7 and Article 8. So I will share my screen again on Article to get that up, to start looking at those. You guys see that?
Yep.
Okay, let me clean it up a little bit here. All righty. Okay, so starting with Article 7, this is elections and related matters. I went through, I think, the 6 sections here. Let me just make 5 sections. I read through them all and really did not see anything glaring that concerned me or, you know, led me to believe we need to make any changes. The only one comment that I found here was in section 7.3, which talks about signature requirements to get on the ballot. I do want to point out here that it says in here for an office which is to be filled by the voters of the whole city, which is an at-large position, you need 150 or less, not less than 150, sorry. For an office which is to be filled by voters of a district, not less than 100 from such a district. The 2014 Charter Review Committee had actually recommended changing this, reducing this number from 100 down to 75. But the Rules and Procedure Committee did not agree with it, and so it got left at 100. I'm not sure why they want to reduce it, but I think 100 is certainly well within the number that should be required to get somebody on the ballot.
I agree.
So I don't recommend changing that. I think we should leave that, but I did want to point it out.
Yeah, I think 100 is completely acceptable.
Okay.
We also have a lot more people in town now than we did in 2014, so.
Yep, that's true. All the elections are nonpartisan, so there's no party affiliation on the ballots. We talked about the signature requirements. This about the information to the voters here in the ballot position. That this has to do with the names that appear on the ballot. This is all standard that most towns use this language, so there's really no issues with it. Section 7.4 talks about the fact that we're divided into 7 districts right now, or precincts. And does say in here that the city council from time to time, but at least once in every 10 years, will review the districts to ensure uniformity in the number of inhabitants. And that usually aligns with the census. And so that, I believe there's a census being conducted this year, right?
But last year, yeah, 2020.
Yeah, but I think it got pushed out because of COVID or something.
That's fair.
Yeah, so the council may decide next year to take a look at this, which is certainly within their, purview to do so, and the charter requires it every 10 years. But I don't see that there's any need to change this right now. I think it's good the way it is. And then section 7.5 just talks about the applicability of state laws. The fact that elections are governed by federal, state, and local laws related to the right to vote, registration of voters, nomination of candidates, et cetera, et cetera. So all in all, I think section 7, article 7, as presented to us in the baseline is pretty complete. I don't see any need to change anything there.
Would you like a motion to approve it?
Unless there's any further discussion or comments, yeah, that would be great.
I, Thomas Golden, motion to approve Article 7 of the charter as it
Oh.
stands.
So I'll second that, but I just want to make sure, like, since we're not changing anything, do we have to move to approve it?
I think we should, just to confirm that we did look at it and discuss it and we agree
Okay.
with it. Yep.
All right, fair enough. Then I, Steve Purcell, second.
Okay, any further discussion? All right, Josh, we'll take a roll call to approve Article 7 as written.
Ed,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Janet,
Yes.
thank you. The motion was approved.
Okay, thank you. All right, moving on to Article 8, and I want to thank you all for graciously helping with this. I think it's working well. So we'll start out with section 1, which was Tom's section. And I know you made a couple of comments down here, Tom, so those are in here. Do you want to start at the top and just talk about it, or?
Yeah, I was just trying to see if I have my copy too, but I can't find it. So hold on. Because I don't think I changed anything else, right?
Right.
Okay. So how do I make that bigger? There we go. Yeah, I didn't change anything in the first section. It was just the starting requires 50 people to be on to sign off on starting an initiative. I think the first 10 have to be on the first page.
Yeah. The petition shall be accompanied by an affidavit signed by 10
The
voters.
first, yeah. So nothing there. Like, I don't think we need to up or down the 50 or the 10.
Okay.
Then it's sent to the city attorney for a timeline. For approval. The attorney has to, within 15 days, advise the city on whether the measures proposed is legal to do that. No, I didn't change anything there.
Okay.
Well, now I have to.
Then the attorney sends it to the clerk.
Yep. Okay, so then my first comment was, should we change that 10% to a hard number? And my thought there is, if it's a hard number, we don't have to worry about somebody going and looking for what the most recent census data was in order to make sure it's compliant. I don't know what y'all think about that. I think it should be, if you want to do 10%, whatever 10% is as of today, that's fine. But I would say 250 seems reasonable.
Yeah, I think the only concern I would have with putting a number in there is that number cannot change unless the charter changes. So by putting in a percent, there's a little more flexibility as the population changes in town.
Yeah.
So I tend to like the percent a little bit better, Tom.
That's fine. That doesn't seem right. Hold on. I was just trying to look up the population quick.
It's, the population. I know we
I
have, the
think we're up
registered,
for 30,000.
registered voters is 18,262.
Yeah.
Oh, registered
But I
voters,
think
yeah.
it's,
That's total number of voters.
yeah,
I like
I mean,
the percent.
that's fine. I just, that requires an extra step, and I know that we've been consistently trying to prevent barriers to people getting involved. So, I mean, that's fine. I'm good with 10%. Like, I don't actually care. But
Okay, and you said you removed a space here. Where was there a space?
I think there was 2 spaces between 10 and percent. So,
Oh, okay, okay.
It's
let me-
probably, it might have actually been the word percent, because down in my section, it was broken down into 2 words, percent. And it's a British wording of percentage, but in the US, we just say percent as 1 word, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. Wow, I didn't know that. Okay,
so that might be it too. Hold on now. I'm trying to. But so I guess that is a change that we would need to vote on and approve.
Yep. What are we doing now, Tom?
I'm trying to find out whether or not where that space was. So give me 1 second.
Okay. I can pull up. I have a paper copy I can look at here.
All right. Well, hold on. So now we're on, this is 8.1, right? So I have some other changes that aren't, I don't think, showing up on the screen that you're sharing. So hold
Well,
on.
all I did was copy what you sent me and pasted it in here.
Yeah, but like, so there's,
You separated, you made it C into 2 paragraphs,
yeah, see, yeah.
right? Or is there something missing? No, you made it into 2 paragraphs, I think, didn't you?
No, hold on.
Because it looks different than what I originally had.
Yeah, it's broken up here.
Well, so no, so the one I sent you, within 10 business days, in the first paragraph, from within 10 business days to the bottom,
Isn't
that was actually at the bottom of the second paragraph. So I also moved that up to the first.
It says here, I moved this to be near the relevant section.
Yep. So if you see where if you scroll up to line 20,
within 10 days.
yeah, within 10 days from that to where the word committee, all of that stuff was actually at the bottom of the second paragraph. So I moved it up to that paragraph.
Oh, okay. So you didn't change the content, you just relocated it.
Yeah, actually, hold on. So now, Ed, the version that you're sharing is not, there's some other stuff I missed in B. That's the changes I made are not showing up.
Oh.
So can I share my screen? Not to.
Yeah, I don't know how that can be. I mean, all I did was copy and paste it. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, yeah, I don't know. But I'll. So here, let me. Because I was like, I thought there was something else. Because you guys can see this now, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we
one
can
of
see
the other thing, I got rid of this because I'm sure Scott would tell me there's some legal reason or legal formality for why this is there. This says basically this little forthwith following the receipt of each such petition basically means as soon as possible. What I did is I added within 1 business day down here in lieu of this. This allows the city clerk a little bit more latitude on time to give the petition to the city attorney. This says it has to be done the next business day.
So the way it's written right now is it says the clerk shall, upon immediate receipt, deliver a copy of the petition to the attorney. And then you said within 1 business day.
Right.
Okay.
Where are you?
So
I'm lost.
so right here, right?
Uh-huh.
The city clerk, so the way it is now, before my recommended changes was the city clerk shall forthwith following the receipt each such petition, deliver a copy of the petition to the city attorney. My recommended change to that sentence was the city clerk shall deliver a copy of the petition to the city attorney within 1 business day.
I think that's good. I like that.
I think it's more simple English. That was,
Yeah, the other, yeah. The only thing is, should it say that the city clerk shall within 1 business day deliver a copy of the petition rather than putting it at the end, just replace
Yeah.
the forthwith? In other words, put it in the same spot, just
Yeah.
change the language.
shall. So now it would read, the city clerk shall within 1 business day, comma, not to read my commas out loud, deliver a copy of the petition to the city attorney.
Okay,
So that was my first change in in section 8.1.
I can't, is that a comma or a
Well, so this is a deleted colon. There's a deleted colon because there's a comma here already.
Okay. So after day and day, it's a semicolon?
No, it is now a
comma.
comma. It was a semicolon
Oh, okay.
because this is deleted, and then the comma
Okay.
that will be there is right here.
Okay, all right. I can't really tell what it's
Yeah.
doing.
if you
so-
shut the delete off, that'll go away.
Well,
Oh.
yeah, I'm just afraid that it's gonna that was our issue with why we
Yeah,
couldn't see the changes on your side.
I know, because I've been highlighting in yellow to make it clearer.
Yeah. How can I? I don't think I can. So now this is the way it will read. There we go. The city clerk shall within 1 business day deliver a copy of the petition to the city attorney.
Good.
That's
Is,
how.
Delete one of those spaces after that
Yeah.
last comma.
after day and deliver, between deliver and delay day,
Yeah.
There you go.
there you go.
Okay, that looks good. Somebody want to make a motion to approve this?
Can I make the motion even though I did the change?
Well,
Yeah.
Sure. I'm also going to conclude set part A. So I, Tom Golden, motion to approve section 8.1 A and B. The changes.
Steve Purcell, second.
Okay, any further discussion on this one? Okay, Josh, we're approving section 8.1 A and B. Roll call, please.
Ed,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Janet,
Yes,
thank you. The motion was approved.
Okay. So then 8C. So Steve, you're right. So it was percent. I deleted the space between per and cent.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah.
So that was that change. And then the other thing I did was move this within section was originally down here. So I moved it up here.
Oh, right, okay, yep.
So that was the change there. And I can read through it all if you want. But it seemed more fitting up here than it did down here.
Okay, I'm good with it. Want to have a motion to approve this one?
I, Thomas Golden, motion to approve my changes to section 8-1C.
Steve Purcell, second.
Okay, any further discussion? All right, Josh, we're going to need a roll call to approve 8.1C.
Ed,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Janet,
yes,
thank you. The motion was approved.
You?
And for clarity, no content change, just where it was located.
Okay.
So 8.1-D. So within 30 days following the date of petition has been returned to the city clerk and after publication in accordance with this section was what it was before. I just clarified the section was 8.1E, which is down here, because within this section makes it seem like it's within 8.1D and it's not. It's actually 8.1E.
Oh, okay, that's good, yeah.
So this section, and I asked an attorney friend of mine about this, and he said this section would include like the whole article, but it reads weird to me, so 81E seemed better.
Okay.
So that was that. And then in this one, the council shall special election provided no less than 35, more than 120 days. And I thought I had a comment here, but I clearly didn't, as to why I upped it from 60 to 120. And I think it was to be consistent with somewhere else in the charter where we did this. And with this 120 down here.
So, So you're going 4 months instead of 2 months.
Yeah,
City council shall call a special election to be held on a date fixed by it, not less than 35 nor more than 60 days after the date of the certificate, herein before mentioned. I don't know, that seems like a long time to me. They're gonna wait potentially 4 months to
Is that-
call.
To decide when, not to have the special election, but when to have it? Is that?
well,
the-
it was, from my reading of it, it was if the next election was more than 60 days away, there would have to be a special election. However, if the city election otherwise occurred within 120 days of the certificate, the city council may at its discretion omit the special petition. So I tried to close the gap here between the 60 and the 120, because there's a gap.
Yeah, but this just basically says now that they have up to 4 months to call a special election.
I mean, I'm fine keeping it at 60, but so what happens between the 60 and the 120 days?
So if they're required to call the special election within 2 months,
Yeah,
then let's see here. However, that if a city election is otherwise to occur within 4 months after the date, may at its discretion omit the calling of a special election.
The whole thing is confusing to me. The wording is like. Within 30 days. Home. That's a real long sentence.
well, originally this entire thing was one sentence, I'm pretty sure.
What about leaving the first one at 60 days, but lowering the otherwise to occur within 120 days, lowering that to 60 days?
Lowering this one to 60?
Right.
I mean, I'd be fine with that too.
That way it closes the gap that you were concerned with, but also leaving it at 60 days.
I'm gonna reject this. Reject. But let's
You're
just
gonna
like
gonna
reading
make it
out the
all 60.
thing, right? Within 30 days following the petition going back to the city clerk after it was published in accordance with the publication, which is below, right? The E81E, the city council. Well, this is also redundant now that I'm reading this, right? In accordance with this section, the city council. So this should also get deleted.
Yeah, well, so the first bullet says basically that they can pass the measure, they can vote themselves and pass the measure as written,
Right.
subject to a referendum vote provided by this charter. Okay,
So we're good with this.
Yeah.
Up to here, all the what I have highlighted right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So then the next thing that has to get deleted is the city council because it's redundant with this city council.
Right.
Shall call a special election to be held on a date fixed by it not less than 35 nor more than 60 days after the date of the certificate herein mentioned, and shall submit proposed measure without altercation to a vote of the voters at that election. Provided, however, that the city election would not otherwise occur within 120 days after the date of their certificate. Like this whole paragraph is just word vomit.
otherwise to occur. does it, I'm just trying to mean that, does this mean that if a regular election is coming up,
That's the way I read it.
provided, however, that if a city election is otherwise to occur after the date of the certificate, the council may just omit the calling of the special election and submit the proposed measure to the voters at the approaching election. I see.
Right. So that's why before when I said I was trying to close that 60 to 120 gap, like if the special election was going to happen on day 62, that would be fine, wouldn't be fine, but like day 120 or day 60 or 35 to 119 is fine. Like it doesn't, the timeline seems hinky.
So you're saying that, I see what you're saying. So let's just, for an example, if the council wants to put something before the voters, the way it's written right now is they have to do it within 60 days.
Right. Unless there's already an election going to happen in 120 days.
Then they can wait and they can
Right.
put it on that ballot of the regular election.
Right. So I guess that just means there's going to be a 60-day period where nothing could happen. You're either going to have a special election immediately or you're going to wait 120 days.
Right.
I mean, I guess that's fine.
And
Like
it
that
could-
gap doesn't matter. If it's that important, they could just do it anyway per the first bullet, right? Or
Yeah, I
have the
get-
town vote on it right away. But if it's not that important, then it just waits till the 120-day election.
Right. Yep. I think that's fine, actually.
All right.
I don't see an issue with that. So are you removing provided?
No, with that, I would just delete all my changes here.
Okay.
It's too bad that whole thing couldn't be worded in plain English. It's two words. It's like, and if you look at the original, it's like all one big long.
Yeah, it's a 129-word sentence if memory serves, right?
Try to write that in an English
I
class.
think it's funny that you actually counted the words. Oh,
127. I stand corrected. Oh no, I deleted 2 words. It was 129. I win.
Try to do that in an English class and see how you do on your paper.
No. So I guess the only change here for AD is this one and then here. So
Yep.
I, Tom
Okay.
Golden, motion to approve the changes to section 8(1)D.
Steve Purcell, second.
Any further discussion?
I would just like to see it without the crossed off things. It's easier to read. Is that going to mess you up if I asked you to do that?
What, can't you just go up and say review and turn off deletions?
Yeah, but then I'd also lose one of the insertions and I'm afraid to do it.
I see. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, this is good. So we need to take a roll call on 8(1)D, Josh.
Ed,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Janet.
Yes.
Thank you. The motion was approved.
Okay.
Then I think my last change is 8(1)G. I changed the word forthwith to immediately just because I hate that.
Was there changes in E? Did I miss
Those
it?
changes that you see in blue are what the Rules and Procedures Committee made.
Okay.
Yeah. So any changes that you see that are in red, Janet, are the ones that I made to the sections.
Okay.
So nothing in E, nothing in F, and then G, I just changed forthwith to immediately. We don't have to change that. I just hate the word forthwith. It just sounds pompous to me.
Do they essentially mean the same thing?
They mean the same thing. Like I'm pretty sure. Let's reject that deletion.
I know I'm good with immediately. I like that better.
Synonyms immediately.
Okay.
So
Okay.
So, I, Thomas Golden, motion to approve sections 8(1)(e), F, and G as they're shown on the screen.
I, Steve Purcell, second.
Okay, any further discussion? Josh, another roll call on all of the 8(1) changes, right, Tom? Is that what-
Yeah.
Ed,
Yes,
Tom,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Janet,
Yes.
thank you. The motion was approved.
great, all right. Thank you, Tom. You can stop sharing and I'll reshare mine. Okay, now we're on section 8(2), which was actually Scott's, and I never heard anything back from him. So I looked at it myself and didn't see anything glaring other than this statement here. It says, if within 10 days after the final passage of a measure, a petition signed by voters equal in number to at least 5% of the total number of voters in address to the city council protesting against the measure or any part of blah, 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 blah. So I just wanted to make sure this equal in number to at least 5% of the total number of voters was legit or reasonable. So based on the current number of voters in town, which is 18,272, that would mean that 913 signatures would have to be gathered within 10 days in order to petition against a particular measure. So I guess my question is, do you think that's reasonable? 913 signatures within 10 days, or perhaps the time frame should be increased.
I think the time frame should be longer, but I do think keeping that number high is necessary, as it's not an insignificant action.
Yeah, I
Okay.
would agree with that.
So what would you say, within 20 days?
I give them a month.
Yeah, 30 days.
Yeah, no way, 10 days. That many voters, you're lucky sometimes to get what you do get.
Oops.
And then percent should be one word as well.
Where was person? Over here. I don't like when you have a comment and you highlight something, it doesn't
Yeah.
show the highlight. I'm going to remove my comment.
That's why I don't usually do the whole sentence. I'll just do the period or whatever at the end of
Okay.
the sentence.
Okay, so what's in yellow has been changed or added. What's been in red has been deleted. So if
Okay.
within 30 days, blah, 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 at least 5%, blah, blah, blah. Okay, somebody make a motion to approve changes to section 8(2).
I, Steve Purcell, move to approve sections 8(2) as shown on the screen.
I, Thomas Golden, will second.
Any further discussion? Okay, Josh, we're approving changes to section 8(2).
Ed,
Yes,
Tom,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Janet,
Yes.
thank you. The motion was approved.
thank you, Josh. All right, sections 8(3) and 8(4) were Steve's.
Yeah, no changes other than that one word as percent in
Yep.
8(3). 8(4), I don't think I had any changes as well.
Okay, let's just
either, and
Let's
that
just
was about it.
refresh ourselves with what this is actually talking about here. So there are certain measures that are not subject to initiative and referendum.
Right.
Measures which include the following: revenue loan orders, payment of debt and debt service, internal operation procedures of the council, emergency measures, the budget. Okay, things for this collective bargaining agreements for the unions, procedures relating to elections, appointment, removal, procedures for the submission or referral of matter to the voters at elections. So these are things that cannot be petitioned by citizens.
Correct.
Steve did not make any changes to these. Yep.
You need the word "and" on number 7 at the end of action.
Well, yeah, I thought about that, but then I was like, well, it is leading into the very last comment, so.
Yeah, notice these all have semicolons.
Yeah, I was wondering that too. It looks like you're listening, but you have a semicolon, so I was confused.
Yeah,
But if
I
it's
think that
there,
it's okay. Hmm.
It just looked funny that "and," it's like,
Yeah,
why is it there? I mean, it's not a huge end of life decision there, but since we correct other things, I was just wondering.
Well, I think if we pull the "and" out, then we've got to remove all the semicolons.
yeah.
So it's kind of like a run-on sentence, I guess, but it's broken up by semicolons. So you need the "and" for the last one.
All right.
Okay, somebody want to make a motion to approve 8.4?
I, Steve Purcell, move to approve section 8.3 and 8.4.
Hi, Thomas
And-
Golden, second.
Any further discussion? Okay, Josh, we're approving changes to 8.3 and 8.4.
Ed,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Janet.
Yes.
Thank you. The motion was approved.
All right. Keeping you awake, Tom?
It's been a long day.
All right, Janet, you had sections 5 and 6.
Yeah. The only thing I saw in 5 was regional needed to be capitalized.
Okay, so that was the change here.
Yeah, that's the only things I saw as far as changing. I didn't see anything else wrong.
So this section has to do with the council submitting proposed measures for the voters, right?
Yep.
As opposed to the citizens petitioning to the council. Okay, so and were there no changes to 8.6?
No, that one, I'm learning all about this stuff, and that one kind of confused me because I was like, how can you have 2 proposals on the same thing that have different conflicting provisions? But I looked it up and I found some examples, so I understand. You're not going to likely have them, but I understand it now. It was just I was overthinking it, or kind of stopped my husband too. But I found some examples
Good.
of what that could be.
Okay, this is good that it's in there then. It may never happen, but it's good that it's in there in case it does. Okay, somebody want to make a motion to approve section 8.5 and 8.6?
I, Janet Hanson, motion to approve section 8.5 and 8.6 with that one change in 8.5.
Steve
Capitalization.
Purcell, second.
Thank you, Steve. Any further discussion? Okay, Josh, we're approving changes to section 8.5 and 8.6.
Ed,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Janet.
Yes.
Thank you. The motion was approved.
Okay, thank you. Okay, this section was provided by Cleone. So this is the section that talks about individuals initiating petitions as opposed to a group petition. So one of the things she added here, well, she made a couple of changes. On A, she removed the IR here. So it says, as certified by the City Board of Registrars,
No, she added
voters
it.
or its successors and may she changed it to say at the discretion of a majority vote, take such action with regard to the petitions. I'm not sure I understand that. I mean, it says the city council shall receive all petitions addressed to them and signed by a voter. They need to be certified by the Board of Registrars and may at their discretion, comma, take action with regard to the petitions they deem necessary and appropriate.
I think there needs to stay. Doesn't it? Not the
I
discretion.
think it does. I'm not sure why she added of a majority vote. I mean, I think that's a given that the council would vote to do this, and it would have to be majority.
Yeah, everything would need to be majority, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I didn't have a chance to talk to her to get an explanation. So at this point, I personally don't agree with this, so I would just leave it as it was written.
I'm with you on that.
Oh, I see what she's saying, at the discretion of a majority vote. Majority vote of what, of who? The city council? Or
Yeah, the city council, because the sentence starts, the city council shall receive
Okay.
and may at the discretion of a majority vote. I mean, can you have a discretion of a majority vote? Is that,
I don't think it's just. That's just a bad word choice.
well, that's what I mean. If you're going to add of a majority vote, you're going to have to change this word too.
you're gonna have to take that out.
It's
I
the
think they
discre-
mean the same thing in this instance.
Yeah, but I don't know how you can have a discretion of a majority vote.
You can't. That's what I'm saying.
You can have discretion of a body of people, but you can't have a discretion of a vote.
Why not with just with a majority vote as opposed to at their discretion of?
Yeah. Well, as I said, I can't make a motion, but I would vote against this, so.
Yeah, I don't like that. And yeah.
With a majority. Yeah, if you're gonna do it, it would be with a majority vote. May with the majority vote take such action with regard, if you're gonna do it, if you're gonna keep majority vote in.
Right.
Otherwise, leave it as it is.
But see, I don't think you need to put in majority vote because it's a given. If the council decides to move forward with a petition, they vote on it regardless, and it would have to be a majority vote.
So can we
So,
just take out after and may commas, take out the comma all the way to that next comma? That's where it just says, or its successor and may take such action with regard to the petition as they deem necessary and appropriate.
well, we could do that. And you're saying just take out at their discretion, and may at their discretion take such action?
No, so I wanted to read, and the voters or its successor and may take such action with regard to the petition as they deem necessary and appropriate.
Mhm. Yep, I mean, that would work too.
Read that again without having that there. It seems like something's missing.
Just basically after and may, that comma right there, remove that comma and the next comma and everything in between. So where it reads, the city council shall receive all petitions which are addressed to them and signed by a voter as certified by the city board of registrars of voters or its successor, and may take such action with regard to the petition as they deem necessary and appropriate. Because this is under individual petition action discretionary. So you're trying to say what the city council has, what action they can perform at their discretion.
Right. So I guess the question is that phrase at their discretion adding any value to this or not? I mean,
I don't think so. Not as we read it. It's like, it's just word vomit, like you were saying earlier.
even though it says in the title, action discretionary, individual petitions, comma, action discretionary. That seems to imply to me that
Yep.
they don't have to do it if they don't want to.
Yeah.
It's at their discretion.
I personally just say, just leave it as is, but that's me.
Because I mean, if you keep it as the same, it would just say at their discretion as they deem necessary. At their discretion as they deem necessary. It's just kind of redundant.
Yeah, that's true too. As they deem necessary and appropriate is sort of at their discretion. Well, Steve, if you want to make a motion on your suggestion, then we'll see where it goes.
All right, well, I, Steve Purcell, move that we remove that portion of the sentence that you have highlighted.
Okay, so I'm going to put this all in red.
And also add in those 2 commas. There you go. Right, yeah, perfect.
I'm sorry, did you make a motion?
Yeah, so I motion to remove that portion of the sentence from 8.7a.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, thank you, Tom. Any further discussion?
I still think it should be just left alone to say at their discretion, you know, I mean, you mentioned about take such action in regard to the petitions. You are talking about the petition, so that portion could be taken out, but I don't know, I have a problem of just skipping that whole discretion thing.
Even though this statement here,
It's basically discretionary.
yeah, this reflects a discretionary action.
Position that they can have. Yeah, I mean, it's giving them that discretion.
It seems
I think
redundant.
that's the whole reason that I suggested to remove that, is because it's already in there, and really it's just a redundant statement.
Okay, well, we have a motion seconded, so, and Janet has provided some comments. Any other comments? Okay, Josh, we will take a roll call on changes to 8.7a.
And just to confirm, Ed, it's to remove at the discretion of a majority vote.
And the two commas as well.
All right, Ed,
Yes,
Tom,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Janet,
Yes,
thank you. The motion was approved.
okay, thank you. All right, now we have group petitions. Item B. So what she's done here is she's added the city clerk shall email and mail. So not just snail mail, but she's saying shall email and mail the notice of the hearing to the 10 petitioners whose names first appear in each petition at least 7 days before the hearing. Notice by publication shall be made. Did she add that? Because it doesn't even sound right. Oh, what she did is she changed, it used to be over here.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So notice by publication shall be made at least 7 days before such hearings at public expense. No hearing shall be heard upon any one subject more than once in any given 12-month period. And now this said all papers, no, it said all petitions, but I'm sorry, it said all papers, which I removed, and she says all petitions.
Yep.
With signatures shall be filed with the clerk. So basically anything in yellow she's added, anything in red has been changed or removed.
Not that I think this is real, but this would require people to have access to an email.
Mhm.
I'm not sure that there's anyone that I know of that does not have access to an email. However, does that matter? Something we want to consider?
That's the first thing that came to my mind as well. And what if the petition doesn't have a spot for, even if it has a spot for an email, they don't have to put their email. They don't have one.
Oh, right.
so what's the question though, as far as if it
We
says-
need to add email.
I'm
They're
sorry,
basically- We're
say
just
that-
questioning that addition to that sentence, the email and.
meaning take it, just have.
I would not add that they shall do that, because that means that they have to, right?
Mhm.
if including email as an option is something that we find valuable, I would write it as the city clerk shall mail, or at the request of the petitioner, email the notice.
Yeah,
Like if the petitioner says, yes, I have email and I want it, fine.
Mhm.
You can email it to me instead of mailing it to me.
how about the city clerk shall mail and email as appropriate?
That's fine. Yeah.
So let's just take this. The city clerk shall mail,
And email if possible.
I like as appropriate.
That's fine. Yeah.
Comma as appropriate. Comma.
Comma here.
Yeah.
The city clerk shall mail and email as appropriate notice of the hearing.
Should it be the notice of the hearing or just notice?
I think it's just notice because
Yeah, just notice.
The notice means a specific thing. No, in this case,
It's an advisory, so yeah, it's just notice, not the notice.
okay, and then notice by publication shall be made. I think that's a good change. Shall be made at least 7 days before such hearings. Because this is, it used to read, notice by publication at least 7 days before such hearings shall also be made and shall be at the public expense.
Yeah, I like both those changes.
And then how about this one? It says all papers with signatures. She changed it to all petitions with signatures.
To keep it consistent with the wording of petition and everywhere, every place else in that paragraph.
Yeah.
So we're good with that?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Someone might want to make a motion to approve changes to 8.7B.
I, Thomas Golden, motion to approve the changes to 8.7B.
Just real quick before I second it, that sentence where your cursor is, should it be the city clerk shall mail and email, comma, as appropriate, comma?
Now, isn't it the email that's okay, as appropriate?
Or
Was the appropriate to do with the email though? Is that going to connect it to the email?
that's why I'm not sure.
It is that the appropriate was associated with email.
Okay, so it should stay like that.
Good catch.
Okay.
Jeanette.
Okay, good enough then. Then I second that motion.
Okay. Any further discussion? Okay, Josh, we are approving changes to 8.7B.
Ed,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Janet,
Yes.
thank you. The motion was approved.
Okay. Great. That gets us through Article 8. So Article 9 is general provisions. I believe there are, let's see how many. There's eight sections, and then you can see Article 10. I actually reviewed this already myself, but we can't discuss it since it wasn't on the agenda. So that I've got that one covered for next time. But we want to break up Article 9 like we did before.
Yes.
Okay, so we've got eight sections, and there's how many? We got 5 of us on the call. 4.
4.
4.
We want to just do 2, break it up 2 each.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's fine.
Okay. I can do 1 and 2.
Okay. Can we see what they are? It's not,
No.
it's more about making sure like, if they're related, they should clearly be together, even if it's three of them.
Okay, so 1 is conflicts of interest, 2 is prohibitions, 3 is finance, campaign finance. 4 is how the charter is amended. When it's amended, the process for amending the
Yes.
charter.
I can do 3 and 4 if you want.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
All right. 5 is severability. That's standard legal, legal terminology. Really, nothing's going to change there.
Send it to Scott. Just sign it.
6, rules of interpretation. Basically says when somebody's reading the charter, there's some guidelines here on how to
Yeah.
interpret it. 7 is how to remove members from an appointed body.
Okay. So none of them are directly building off the one before it.
Nope. And then
Okay.
last is posting of public documents. So I've got 1 and 2. Steve's got 3 and 4.
I'll take whatever. I don't care. So I'll do 5, 6, even though, or I guess 5's a joke. You want me
No, I'm not gonna send anything to Scott. He's not here, so.
to, all right.
Yeah.
You want 5 and 6, and Janet, can you do 7 and 8?
Yeah,
Okay. And 10, as I said, 10 is pretty much done. So we should be able to get through both of these next meeting, which
Perfect.
is the 17th.
It's St. Patty's Day.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. It's a holiday in some parts of this state.
go anywhere.
It's one of those funky holidays, though.
Yeah.
We could all wear green. Everybody
There
wear
you go.
How about this? I'm not going to say it because we're being recorded.
All right. So next item on the agenda is public comment. Doesn't look like we have anybody from the public on. People are losing interest.
Yeah.
It's also the planning board meeting about that project. So
Oh, right. Okay.
that's the thing.
That's where everybody is. All right. Any action items for our next meeting?
Not for me.
No? Okay. Our next meeting is the 17th at 6. And I guess that's it. We approved the timeline. And then, so after next meeting, then we'll jump right into the decision matrix and go through there and see if there's anything we want to add.
Right.
So, and I'll start to pull together an outline for our public forums.
Okay.
And present that one of the next couple of meetings, whatever, we can start looking at that. So great. All right. Well, somebody want to make a motion to adjourn?
Yeah. Thanks for doing that, Ed.
You're welcome.
And I, Steve Purcell, move to adjourn.
I'll second.
All right. Great. No discussion, I'm sure. This is record time, 7:09. Wow, we started late.
We also have half the people. So
Yeah. No
That
argument.
it says the larger the group, the slower you move, right?
Yeah.
yes.
All right. Thank you all for your help tonight. Appreciate it. And
Thanks, Ed.
stay safe, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
We got to vote, right, to adjourn?
All right, Josh, we'll vote.
Ed,
No, yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Janet,
Yes.
All right, now.
the motion was approved, the meeting is adjourned.
Hey,
Thank
Janet.
you.
Good night, everyone.
Janet.
Yep.
Did your husband tell you I bumped into him in Roach Brothers yesterday?
You did. I didn't.